I was bored the other day and just by chance happened across a newspaper and decided to read it to pass the time. It must have been fate, as inside this edition was an open and honest revelation which made me stop and question my views. The piece in question was in the agony aunt section of the paper and was a genuine cry for help, as well as being a stunning example of female empathy. As we all know, the SJW and feminist groups have made a mockery of empathy, full stop. So I think it is refreshing to read a stark example of how empathetic females truly can be. Because as we are continually told, empathy is an emotion that all women have and no men have. However, I have kept you in suspense long enough. Let me read to you all this woman had to say in her plea for advice. The letter was entitled, "Should I Leave My Dying Husband?" Let me read it to you now. Dear Belle, how can I go on? I've been with my husband for 22 years. He left his wife and 2 kids for me, although I did not want this. Yeah. We subsequently had a son, now 19. Without going into details, I put the child up for adoption at the time, but couldn't go through with it. Empathy. Now my son and his father haven't uttered a word to each other for at least a year. My husband has 2 older children and indeed 2 grandchildren. My problem is that I've been in love for the past 40 years with a man who is 23 years older than me and lost his wife 2 years ago, so now is available. Empathy? 23 years older than me, 40. So not her husband. And he just lost his wife 2 years. Okay. Empathy. My husband has been at death's door for 11 years, and I don't know how long I can go on living with a man just because he's dying, but whom I loathe. Do I leave in order to find happiness with the man I love for the rest of my life, or stay with my husband waiting for him to die? I am hurting and feel so unhappy. Ellen. Yeah, empathy. Well, let's see what the reply to that was. I'm sure it was supportive. Reading your message, it sounds to me if you react passively to events rather than taking control. This tendency has an unfortunate habit of turning people into victims, but they in turn create other victims by being incapable of acting with honesty and strength. That's not supportive. You were having an affair with an older married man and simultaneously started another relationship with a different married man. That one left his wife and children for you, although you didn't want this. So why did you let him inflict pain on his family and then marry him in such bad faith. Empathy. Shockingly, you put your own child, his son, up for adoption, but didn't go through with it. Why? Was it because you'd already decided you didn't love the child's father? To be absolutely honest, having read to that point, I started to find this loveless story of deception pretty horrible. Empathy. Where's the empathy? To be clear, it's not your admission of the 23-year-old love affair, but the dismissive way you speak of your husband and son. You don't say why you loathe the man who loved you enough to leave his family and is now very ill, at death's door, a very flippant and even callous way to describe his condition. Nor why he and your son are not speaking. I'd have liked some inkling as to why this family is so miserable, or should I say, so dysfunctional. What to do? Yes, the choice is hard, and you don't say whether the widower is willing to take you on. Perhaps you should start by trying to make things right between your son and his father. This wouldn't be about you, but about their relationship. If you're going to leave the man, he will need family. To that end, you should also make sure he is in close touch with his older children and, if not, try to make that right too. It may well be beyond you, yet just thinking about how to make his life better, even though you loathe him, will be good for you. Kindness is good therapy. No matter how he has treated you, and there may well be reason for your dislike other than loving somebody else, illness is hardly his fault. To cut to the chase, surely it would be despicable to stay with a hated husband, waiting for him to die. Haven't enough lies been told, enough damage done? If I were you, I would do as I suggest. Find out if the other man wants you, make sure everything is in place for your husband's welfare, then leave. Well, that wasn't quite the response I was expecting, but maybe it was fair.